Federated Farmers of New Zealand. I can see Nick Clark there, and now Frank, now I'm not going to pronounce your surname correctly. Brenmuhl? Is that close enough?
It is.
Good. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Frank Brenmuhl and I am the President of North Canterbury Federated Farmers. With me is Nick Clark, Federated Farmers Policy Manager based in the Christchurch office. We are presenting North Canterbury Federated Farmers' submission on the Council's long-term plan consultation. I am assuming that councillors have read our submission, so I won't recite it and all the points in it. North Canterbury Federated Farmers appreciates the relationship it has with the Council and the work it does in rural parts of Canterbury, particularly on Banks Peninsula. Federation supports the effort of the City Council, has been making and is making to rebuild and recover from the earthquakes. The situation you are facing is unprecedented and hugely complex, not to mention very costly. There has been much said over the past year about the funding gap facing the Council, which seems to get bigger with every forecast and is now estimated at $1.2 billion. Federated Farmers agrees with the Council's proposed approach to close the funding gap by releasing $750 million capital by selling down shares owned by the Council through Christchurch City Holdings, increasing rates, reviewing its program of major works, reviewing its operating spending and managing debt prudently. We have always said that a combination of all of these options is necessary. However, we are concerned about the growth in debt and the large rates increases that are coming over the next few years, and we believe that if anything the Council should give serious consideration to releasing more capital from Christchurch City Holdings than currently proposed. It is all a matter of balance, and we believe that the Council's approach and the consultation document strike as a good balance as we can hope for under the circumstances. Turning to other matters, Federated Farmers had a close look at the Council's proposed changes to the rural differential. The way it was worded did cause some initial confusion, but we received helpful assurances from the Council's rates officials that it would not affect farms. On the basis of these assurances, Federated Farmers does not oppose the change. Council can recall concern we expressed last year about roading issues on Banks Peninsula, both the local roads and the state highway, where heavy traffic generated by cruise ships causes problems of wear and tear and road safety. Since then, we have had constructive engagement with Councillor Turner on the local roads, and we have been engaged with New Zealand Transport Agency on the state highway. NZTA was sympathetic but non-committal, and the City Council could, in our view, play a useful advocacy role. Regarding local roads, we do believe that the Council should ensure that it continues to adequately maintain and improve its roading network, which we see as a critical Council responsibility and the main value that farmers get from their rates. We would be concerned if the maintenance of the peninsula roads was allowed to lapse, especially as this can exacerbate problems when there are storms and floods. Examples of basic but critical maintenance include keeping culverts and drain clear of debris and keeping roadside trees and other vegetation regularly cut back and trimmed. Sometimes it's just a matter of being better enforcing maintenance contracts rather than spending more money. Finally, we'd like to thank you for your time in considering our submission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I'm sorry about the change at the front.
It's okay.
It was some emergency that was going on. So, questions? Phil?
Thank you for your submission. In terms of the scenarios, like one of the scenarios which is referred to, but we don't have any figures around, is Council's potential to reduce our capital program in terms of our capital spending, which is our big money. Do you agree that we should address that scenario too?
It's one of those issues which the Council has a grave responsibility around, and it's one of balancing the wants and the want-nots, or the not-wants. And we think that there is possibly scope for that. An example would be, for example, if we were going to build a completely new stadium, should it have a roof or not have a roof? Stadiums traditionally lose money. Making a fancier one does not necessarily mean it's going to make money.
Thank you.
Thanks. We don't usually have Federated Farmers to question. Is there any other questions, Yanni?
Thank you. You've talked about in your submission around the need for the sustainable transport networks, and I think one of the comments you make is those who use or benefit them should pay for them. Do you take the same kind of approach or thinking towards things like professional rugby or professional cricket? Do you think we should be looking to not rate subsidise those, but actually more direct charge those professional type sports?
By and large, we do. We're a firm believer that user pays, except where there is a general community benefit which exceeds that. And we're not against general rates funding a lot of issues, but where you've got specific use, we believe that should be related to the cost imposed.
Okay, any other questions? If not, it was obviously incredibly clear. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you.
Selene isn't here, I think. So Lynette, we're in your hands.